Right, so we're starting off just, well, a couple of minutes early. So my 0 viewers, don't worry, I just started a little bit earlier. So all I did yesterday after I finished or like wrapped up for yesterday, I merged the branches. Um, had a couple of like merging issues, but resolved those. So now that we're back in main, and let me just do. A pull just to make sure. Oh, and I deleted like a file that just wasn't getting used. So what we're doing today, because effectively the app is done, but there's going to be bugs. Like this is version 0.01, whatever. So there's going to be issues. Now we're going to figure those out on the fly by testing. So let's go to. Okay, got a couple of things. Oh, and I added the PyCache to the git ignore. That was one of the issues. It was trying to sync the PyCache constantly. So I just removed that, said we don't need it. Let's go to files. As you see, I was using command line. Now, I want to do a quick test. Because if it's in the path, can I do Brave? No, okay. So let's do this, properties, and I'm going to copy that target. Remember the one with our little thing in there? So let's try this. I'm not a PowerShell expert. PowerShell, how to open browser. Want it to open this target with the URL http 27.0.0.1 port 8000. All right. Let's see if that works. Let's come in here. Oh, that did it. So, because what I was thinking is that starts up the environment, it starts the server, and if I do this, paste just one line. So if that is my startup script, that should get into the environment, do this, and open the browser. Let's see if that works. Nope. I wonder if there's a weird backtick there. Let me try that. Oh well, I'll play around with that some other time. I just thought it would have been really cool that every time I shut down the service, that it would like open it as well. Never mind. Right, so let's move that over. That's not going to work. I mean, what I could do is just, because it's got here to do it in the default browser, so I could just set Brave as the default temporarily. Brave start URL flag using PowerShell like this. I mean, or I could just create like a little PS1 file with 3 lines in there. Should we try that? Let's try that, because another thing of this video is playing around, and that was the whole point of this project, playing around, figuring things out. So let's actually try that. I'm going to go to, I think I have in dev. Startme.ps1. Okay, so let's come back to here. I have all of that. Let me just stretch this over. Did I? Right, so never put it in there. Okay, so it doesn't do that last bit. Let's try removing that argument list. I wonder if that argument list is doing something weird. So let's save that. Let's run this. Right, so it's literally not doing that start process at all. Start an application running with a PowerShell command going to the .exe. Right, so it's saying instead of start process, we can just use the ampersand. Did I save that? Right, okay, last thing to try. Let's put it at the start. So, okay, so that works. That's the order. So I wonder if, because it goes into the virtual environment, then it can't launch Brave because it's in the virtual environment. If I launch Brave first, so if I do kill that, let's try this. Let's close that. So let's see if it does that if I run it first. There we go. We have a little startup script. Oh. So if I was to create, now I don't know how to do it in PowerShell, but I know you can do, like in Linux, you can do aliases. So if I'd done like an alias as restart app is to run that thing, then all I've got to do in the command line is restart app, and it would like have it shut down. We'll play around with that some other time. Let me go live chat. Right, so what we want to do is build more testing. We're going to go boom, like this. And you know what else we're going to do? We are going to do, so 300825 underscore 10 1012 startup script written. There we go. We've got a nice little startup script. Now we do have, let me think what I want to do here. Just moving some screen space around. So, let's stop everything. Come to the database. We've got a little clean DB. Split editor. Okay, see, I would like it this more if I could just run them all. Because if I do this, you see it's saying delete from hobby. It's not doing all of them. Okay, so if I do Control A, item value, right? Okay, so one downside to this dbeaver in here, you can't run as a script. SQL. I don't know what that is. Let's not play around. So, right, what I'm going to do, instead of jumping over to this, I'm going to open dbeaver. Just because it's a bit more powerful. This is nice, but sometimes I've got a whole script, like my little cleanup script, that like I want to run all of those lines. Like basically, I want to clear that database out, make sure it's clean. So let me go to my clean DB. Let me copy clean DB. That's all I'm doing. Over in dbeaver, we've still got our things here. See, this is what I mean. Like I want to be able to do this. I thought did I not save it? Connect to SQLite. path is HobbyDB. Okay. Let me just SQL editor, new script. And if I run this, get back to do a delete, that aware clause on hobby possible data loss. Yes, don't ask me again. And delete from the, right. So that is what I want. Then we're going to copy this and we're going to paste, and hopefully it's smart enough to do this. Find and replace. Select star. There we go. Execute a script. So this is like my check. So I can go boom, and that makes sure that everything is clear. Right, so let's start the testing. Let's reload. Oh, and we don't have it up and running. We're going to ignore this dev tools. Remember, that's absolutely fine. We're going to leave this running in the background. Now, we're going to go to our Flask. Close that. Close that. Close. Clean DB. Let's close. 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 What's a nice script here? Let's just okay, so we've got a comment here, so let's just clean up this SQL. Delete all data, and it selects show hobby fields. Right, so we've got a nice little right. Let's go dev here. We'll just call it that, just so we can open it at some point. So I wonder if having the script might let me run it. We'll play around more later, but let's get some more tests going. Right, so we've got these. It's going to add the 2 hobbies, and it's going to add some fields to the slingshot. So let's go boom on that. And it did indeed create our app. And if we go here and just reload this page, there we see everything. Right, now what I want it to do is no, I don't. Right, kill that. And over here, right, so I just reset the database because I accidentally clicked it instead. So we want to run that here. Boom. And it did do that. It's just so quick. It does manually, like you see it adding things, but unfortunately it always opens on another monitor. Right, so I'm just going to move that out the way because what I want is this. Because we can do record at cursor. So that's open the recorder here. So what I want to do is add an option. Okay, so that didn't work. Let's stop, close. Boom. Will it let me do control? Yep, it does. It lets me do Control Z. Let's save that. We'll get that back to how it was. If I reload here, go slingshot, add option, I'm getting this pop up. That's not working. Right, let me try this. And right, so I'm going to open up Chrome here. Right, so it works in Chrome. What was our setup? Do I have Chromium? I do not. Right, so Google Chrome not set as default. Okay. Right, so now we come back to tests. Right, Playwright. Let's have a look, because in a Playwright test, can I get it to run SQL? You can run SQL within Playwright test, though it's not something Playwright handles directly. Typically integrate it using Node.js database libraries. May look into that later. What I was wondering is, after a test, throw up a little yes/no box. Shall I delete the data? And yes. So not a big deal. Let us just delete those fields. At the moment, what we're trying to do is get Playwright to show the pop-ups. Now, I don't know if that's something in Playwright that's doing / not doing that, or is it something in the browser? Because I don't know if Playwright, like, I've got Chrome installed, like loads of browsers, but I've got Chrome and it's using Chrome. Obviously, because it said set Chrome as your default. I don't know if it's a subset of Chrome, like it's its own inbuilt Chrome browser, or is it using my specific browser? And I wonder then, could I configure this to use Brave? Oh, that would be nice. But right, so let's try this. We want to run this, and I'm going to get a little window, go dum. Okay, why did that break? And look at that. That no longer works. Now, if I reload up here, so this browser that Playwright uses is broken. Because here, look, this is what this page. Oh, I see. Maybe not. Because, of course, I cleared the data. It's going to create a brand new GUID. Test cases using GUIDs. Maybe forcefully write those GUIDs in for testing instead of generating one. Here, so we've got this. If I click add option, see, this add option doesn't work. Let's do help about. Oh, Chromium. Look at that. So it is using Chromium. Site settings control. Don't allow sites to send pop-ups or use redirects. Don't allow sites. Right, let's allow it. Sites might send pop-ups to show ads, blah, blah, blah. We don't care because this is only going to hit locally. You probably could do 127.0.0.1. Not a valid address. Oops. Location camera, blah, 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 blah. JavaScript optimization, allow. Automatic downloads, intrusive ads block, pop-ups and redirects allow. What I'm going to close my main browser for the moment. Let's go boom. And let's run those tests again. See this, I'm seeing the power of Playwright. When you're developing and you're at this stage and you just want to keep like testing and it's like, well, I know I can get up to this point and everything's good, but the test is going to make sure I don't retroactive, well, basically break something else. So we've got this. Now I can obviously add, I can obviously do this, I can check this. There's that, add option. Oh, what happened there? It popped up. Or was it my imagination? I thought I saw it pop up just for a second. See, these are all 200s. Right, JavaScript, tab, smooth focus, detect, bracket, code folding. Okay, let's come out of that. Settings. Let's see if it resets that pop-up setting. Look at that. So it does reset that back. Open new page. Continue where you left off. Right, I am using Playwright to test an app. When I run tests, it is opening its own Chromium browser, but pop-ups are blocked by default. How can I get it to open the Chromium browser with allow pop-ups? Let's give it a suggestion. So playwright.config.ts. Is there something in playwright.config.ts? So we're going to try and help it. We're going to try and give the AI as much as we can. You need to tweak the browser context settings to override the default pop-up block. Yes, I figured that. Unfortunately, Chromium blocks pop-ups by default unless they're triggered by user gestures. So that's it. Playwright doesn't expose a direct config flag like allow pop-ups, but here's how you can work around it. But see, it is mine. What's happening is it's setting it to no every time I start up that browser. So we've got import define config devices from Playwright tests. Export default. Define config. Projects should be part of that. I think so. We've got open, close, curly bracket. We've got an open, close, open. So I think if I copy from there, let's save that. Two problems in the file. Oh, so a square bracket and a comma close. I don't need that bit. There. So let's give that a go. Let's boom, let's delete. Now, if I come to Playwright, let's give it a go. There, I don't know if you saw, so that was really quick. So if I do add option, nope. So it didn't work. Let's have a look. Settings, pop-ups. Right, let's close, close, run our little script and test. Still not showing, and if we go settings, yeah, so every time it starts up, it's turning those off. Ah, right. Pop-ups via If your app uses window.open, make sure it's triggered by a simulated user gesture like a click. Yeah, but see, that's happening already. It's the default. Right, that didn't work. Every time I close the test browser and rerun the test, it Chromium sets pop-ups to disabled. Which is what Playwright uses by default. Right, okay. To make pop-up settings stick between runs, you'll need to launch Chromium using a persistent context with a custom user directory. Import Chromium. If you're using Playwright config TS, this setup doesn't directly support persistent context. You'll need to run this outside of the config. Right, so there we go. One really shitty thing about Playwright. That's bad. That is really bad. Because I might want to have tests based on a specific setup of a browser, and I can't do it. Playwright won't persist, and that is bad. That's that. I mean, it's not. Oh my god, end of the world. That's something I'm going to report to Playwright. So it's 10:48. So I'm going to show them that issue. That yeah, that like we need an easier way for it to persist. Let me close all this. What I'm going to do is run my clean database. I'm going to say run this. Then I'm going to go settings, pop up, just do pop, settings, sites can use pop-ups. Reload the page. I'm just going to go back to that settings again. Okay, so that does persist. This I don't know. Right, so we're going to use our agent to figure this out. So let me just check what are our changes. Right, let's add those in. 30, 08, 25, underscore 1050, trying to get Playwright to do what I want it to. Not the best comment, but I'm a little bit frustrated right now because right. So first of all, let's go to Brave. Get our debugger. We're going to go to the console network. Go to slingshots and I'm going to click add option. So that doesn't do anything. Look, in here it's not. Is the console? So I've got to figure out a better way of adding these options. So there's two issues. One is on, is it on Playwright? I mean, there is the issue there with Playwright. It should allow that when the browser starts up that you've configured that you can pass it arguments and say, when the browser opens, I want it in this state. Okay, so let's test the theory. Right, let's go settings, search for pop-ups. Recently, view permissions and data stored across sites. Right, here's a, now there, look, see, so that, so it's not a pop-up, it's not considered a pop-up. Right, so it's a design flaw. So how can we make this better? Right, let's do a branch. Branch name, fixing, adding, combo, values. Right, so let's do this. On the item page, this button, add option. Instead of a browser pop-up asking for a value, this should change. Instead, open a new window, a new page, the app that shows the field name as a title. Below that will be a text box so we can enter a new value, a button that says add to confirm the value to be added to the combo. When the add button is clicked, it will do similar to the items in that it will show them below the text box and button that says add. The value will have an edit and delete button just like the items and hobbies do. When there will be a done button, when clicked, it will go back to the previous page. Let's see how it handles that. Well, see, so much for this week. I was going to try and do the same app into different agents. But I've got ideas for apps coming out of the wazoo that I would like, and there are going to be more projects like this. Definitely, there's going to be more where, and again, like this one is trying to do it through AI and not jumping in and changing things myself. Like seeing if it can do it solely by prompts. Right. So my logic is I've changed it to a page because then that pop up, I don't know where it's getting recognized or what it's doing. And I think that's what was happening. Like it's not really a pop up; it's a browser thing. And right, so we're going to keep that. I wonder, out of interest, what it changed. Combo options, combo, combo. Did these changes still allow the values to be written to the database in the correct table? Okay, excellent. Now, because I never specified that, and this is part of like software design, like separating the layers. So if you've got a database design and that database is correct and you want to make changes to the UI, you shouldn't have to make any changes to the back end. Database works, front end is just feeding information to that database. Really, that's all it is. So let's see how broken this is. Terminal. Okay, and I know I don't need to, but we're going to go C just to stop that. We're going to close our Brave browser. We're going to open it, and it's so there's nothing there. We're going to go. So we can go to Slingshot. We're going to click Add Option. Enter new option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add 67890. Add Paulie. Add done. Okay, so we're going to check in. So it's 300825 underscore 1102 and new page for adding combo values. But the new page added needs to look like all the others. So maybe it needs the CSS file from static. Okay, right, so it is. We're getting a 404. I've got to remember to look for the errors, not jump straight into the testing and looking around. I've got to remember, look at the errors, because it's literally saying here, get static style CSS. Just go to items. Config.css. Config.css. There we go. Needs a little bit of tidying, like the buttons to move over, but that's all, what do you call it? Cosmetics. Now, can I delete? Right, so deleting those doesn't work. I wonder how you do that in Playwright to make sure something is deleted. Because you can say, right, I tell you what, we're going to, let's build some more tests. Right, we've got this, what are we in here? Combo options HTML, 300825 underscore 1106 fixed CSS on new page. Right, let's do some testing. Right, so we've got add fields to hobby. We're going to record it as a new. We go to 127.0.0.148,000. Isn't that a setting that it should open it to that? Right. Slings. Add hobby. It's a shame you can't pause. There's another thing. Be nice to pause the recording, because I might want to get the code to a certain point or be doing other things. I don't want it to record all that. It'd be nice to go pause, get it to where I need it, and then So we're going to do a config. We're going to do bum. We're going to go combo, and we're going to add that, and we're going to close this. And now we've got this add option button. So we're at line 15. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add. 2, 3, 4, 5. Add. 5, 6, 7, 8. Add. I'm going to click done. That brings us back to here. 2, 3, 4, 5. And stop. Let's just get rid of that. Right, so we've now got our little test. All of this all of that we don't need. So we want to add an option. Click 1, 2, 3, 4, add, 2, 3, 4, add. Then click done. Let's take, can I just comment? There we go. So we just want to comment that out just in case. Dum. We are going to copy that code. Add value to combo. So it's going to add option, click it. That should work. Again, the other thing I wish, like, I could go here and just go delete, like, get rid of it, hide test. Does hiding it, does that stop it from running? Because to me, hiding it means it will still do stuff. I'm using Excel logic. So you go in Excel, you hide a column. If you've got a formula that uses values in that column, that formula doesn't ignore what was hidden. It's just not visible, but it still can be processed. Right, so shall we see? Let's do this trace viewer. Right, so we've got here. Okay, so more playing around with that. Let's just show in browser. We shall delete, and we're just going to say, give me this, and just run all that. Right, timed out. I wonder if I just do this. Save that. Clear everything out. There's a little bit of I want to get rid of that test spec too. I'm going to get ready. Right, so that built everything. So let me move that out the way. I think what I want to do now is let's jump over to dbeaver. I'm just going to have it over this side. Just because I'm working with 3 monitors and they're all like, so give my neck a little rest. Right, so if we run this, we see 2 hobbies. Fields, we should see 5. 4 for slingshot, 1 for knitting, but knitting will just be null. Okay. Maybe not. Oh, that's in the other queries I've got. Combo options. So that looks correct, and it's registering it to field ID 4DC70CB, which is there, and our items are clear and item values. Show hobby and field. So this is the one that I meant. So it's going to show knitting because I've got the left join. See fields that are added. Okay. Right. Got a good little test suite going on. What do we have here? Add slings and knitting. Right. We won't worry about knitting. All I want knitting in there for is so that I've got two hobbies. That's just to make sure that I can edit, delete, and not duplicate it. So let's do that now. Let's set that test up. So we're gonna, I don't know what this pick locator is. Right, so record new. Are we all set up for this? I'm thinking like put all this in the same text. So basically that builds everything, but no, I like them separate. Right, so bumpy dumpy dump. Let's record a new. One two seven dot zero dot zero dot one. Gonna go to edit knitting. Does not work. Delete knitting. Does not work. Edit that. Does not work. Delete. Does not work. Okay, and the reason these are not working is because it is that pop-up. So what's going on here? Do settings, dialogue. Let's go with that. AI in a browser. Why would a dialogue not show up? Ad blockers, privacy, permission. If the dialogue depends on permissions like location, environment, context, response design on mobile framework, if you're using libraries like React Vue or jQuery and proper lifecycle timing issues, I think we're looking at up here. It's caught in something. I just wonder what that did. Okay, there are places in the app like clicking edit and delete where it is currently using a dialog box. What is a better way to deal with this? Let's really make it think, make it earn its money. Better way than using browser dialog box is to use in-page modals or inline UI elements. This provides a smoother, more consistent user experience and works better with automated testing. Agreed. When you click edit, replace the value with an input box and show save cancel buttons right next to the list. When you delete, show a small confirmation message or buttons. Custom modal dialog. Show a styled modal div overlay for editing or confirming delete with your own buttons and fields. This can be styled to match your app and is easy to test with Playwright. Example for edit. Click edit, show an input, blah, blah, blah. Would you like a code example for inline editing or modal dialog? I prefer a modal. Use the modal Right, I'm going to let that churn away. While that's churning away, I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea. Right, I'm back. Let's see. Let's keep everything it did. It looks like it might have changed some Python stuff. So let's go terminal. Let's move this up. Let's close that. There. So let's have a look at this. If I now edit, try to delete an item and got this. User modal for everything. Yes, fix all the things so modals work. Yes, add those modals too. Okay. So it is going to be interesting when I've done all this to actually go through the code and see how well it's actually done. Mm. Right, so we have an app. I just want to close that. I just want to clean up some of this stuff. What's this? That's dbeaver. I'm going to move dbeaver over there for now. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. Just stuff on other monitors. I just want it cleaned. And we're going to stop. Right. We're going to clear and then we're going to run the startup process. No, we're not. We're going to close this. We're going to go boom. And what we're going to do is run a little dbeaver clear ev. No, we're not. Do it right. Okay, look, let's do a, we're going to do a manual. So we've cleared everything out. Database is now clear. We're going to do slings, add hobby. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that looks so much better. So much better. So much better. Right. And we're going to go. So we do have a hobby. We're going to go into this hobby and we're going to config and we're going to do bum text add integer add checkbox add combo add. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. I'm going to add. Dev tools static items.js not modify. Right, so that's all okay. So let's just I want to in dbeaver can I change the default key control enter to F5 to run code. Excellent. It's just because I am an anti-Microsoft, but SQL Server's good and it works. And I'm just used to hitting F5 because also on my keyboard, F5 is the play and pause button for like music and stuff like that. So it's just a go-to. The F5 does that. So it says go to Window Preferences. Navigate to User Interface Keys. In the search bar, execute SQL query. Select the command from the list. In the binding field, press F5. Oh, look, I think you can have two. No. Yay, there we go. So now we have a hobby. It has fields. So our combo is 8927. Our item, we have one item. So we have that item ID that is linked to a hobby of that, and it's got a create date. And then we have an item ID. So this ID, right, so it might not be right in those values. So what we're going to do is I'm going to create a test that basically builds it with two hobbies. Because everything looks different now. See, I think this still works. This bit still works. Let's close that. Let's just reopen it so that we are clear. So I think click to run test, right click for more options. I just want this test. Okay. I'm just going to come to here. Just going to click on slingshot. Oh, look, it highlights it. Go to here. We're going to edit. I'm going to call it crochet. Make sure it says crochet, and then we're going to delete it. Delete this hobby. Yes. Stop. Rename knitting to crochet and delete. Eddie. That will be the name of the frame. We have a quantity. Stop that. Right. So update. Where's my dbeaver? Update combo option. Tables, combo option, columns. So that would be ID. So I'm not sure how I'm going to fix that. There must be a workaround. Let's ask the AI. Basically, my logic is, right, let's move over here. Let's go to our test and come here. Get rid of a couple of those. Right, so here it's going to go to the drop down box and it's going to select a value based off the ID. Now, when I delete the tables to make them clean to start the test, that ID isn't going to exist, and when I create one, it isn't going to be the same. So what I've done in that SQL, where'd it go? Here, so whatever value it puts, I'm going to add 3 values. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. One of these I'll have to just grab, put into that new value and change it. But let's see. Let's see if it can come up with a better idea. Right, only during Playwright testing, I recorded a macro and it gave the line, but if I reset my DB, then when I create new items for the combo, that UID will not exist. Do I need to run SQL to edit it so one of the values is the same in the test, or is there a better way to do this test? I figured there might be something. So you do not need to hard code a UUID. I figured that would be the case. Like that is a workaround if you had to do that. But we don't want to do that. Best practice for Playwright combo box tests. Prefer selecting by a label value. So await page get roll combo box select option label. Right, this works if your combo options visible text is unique and predictable. If you must use the UUID, no, I think we can go with this. That so much prettier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go pop and trash that database. Well, trash the tables. Let's move this over. Let us are we ready? Yep, let's run that. Okay, so that did run through smooth. Now, if I go back, I still got my hobbies, slingshot, and we got this hobby here. So far, we've got a good little test suite going, making sure. Now, I don't like this. There are going to be some tweaks here, but let's have a look. Let's see. Right, so we have a slingshot. That has 4 fields. The combo options are 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you see, we've done the 5, 6, 7, 8 brand new ID. From items, we have one item that links to a hobby. Right, so we have text one that is Eddie. My num doesn't show anything. My check is true. Right, so before we play around with this too much, let's figure out okay, I'm going to keep all of that. I don't think those 2 fields are needed, value int and value bool. I just think we need value text. This is not working, but we need to check in. So 300825 underscore 1214 got a good test suite. Int box not working, need to fix. And I know I'm doing commit and push. Like, I know in a proper dev environment, I'd just be doing commit. I wouldn't want to push, but this is just my local thing. I'm pushing it, because if my PC dies, and then I've still got all this stuff. So that's the only reason I'm doing a commit and push. Right. So what I want to do is I just want to check this. This is Barney. Number is 5. It's going to be 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to leave that unchecked. Save item. Okay, so got a hobby, we've got the 4 fields. Combo options are still the same. The item, we have 2 items relating to 1 hobby. The items are there. Okay, so it did load that 5. Okay, so now we've got 3 items. Right, okay, so that it kind of seems like it's working. But we want to change that because this on the items page, the list at the bottom that shows all items, can we change the fields from create date, hobby, ID, created at, created at, hobby ID, and ID to instead show we don't really need the hobby name because we know what hobby we're in. The field.name the value of that field. Do we want the created date? Let's leave the created date off for now. I kind of like a create date, but let's leave it alone for now. Right, that's close. We just want the my list to show the value. So, but I'm going to check it in first because I've experienced this and I go, oh, just change that and everything goes wrong. 300825 underscore 1221 fixing items screen. Just the combo is showing the UID, not the value. You're going to commit and push. Other reason I'm doing a push as well is not just to commit locally, because I may go downstairs, sit on my laptop on the couch and have a look around, play around with stuff. So I'd want to be able to just pull it. Right, so here we are. From that change, the only issue is the combo box is showing the UUID and not the value of that UUID. I think that the database I like, the database should have the UUID because you would query it and join the tables to find out the correct value. It better not change the value text in the table. Okay, good. It looks like it didn't do anything dumb. Let's close. I'm going to delete everything in the database. Now we're going to run our test. Okay, so it didn't fix it. Let's give it a screenshot. Not right. See screen pasted. The my list one currently shows that. So what is 4D? Ah, shit. Just deleted it instead of showed it. Damn it. Should be showing. This time go to my select. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Print screen. And we're just going to give it that little snippet. And go. Well, it's having a good old think, isn't it? Items list will now always show the correct combo option like 1, 2, 3, 4 for combo fields, even if the database stored the UUID in the text field, which is correct. What do we think? Did it fix it? Yes! Yes! Look at that. That's kind of made me happy. I really like that. I'm thinking I might stop it there. Yeah, because it's been 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So, I mean, we made good progress, and I really enjoyed it. Um, let's leave it as that for now. Yeah, because I need to check in 300825 underscore 1231. Seems like everything is good. Do some manual testing and build a good playwright suite. Let's go. Commit and push. I'm going to delete everything from that table. We're going to keep everything. 300825 underscore 1232 deleted everything in DB. So I think some of the things we've got to do. Let's just do this. Commit and push. Files. README. I'm going to keep that just for prosperity. So generate log file from terminal. We're going to leave that. Convert JSON file to a DB. I think strike through is that. Try to generate an Android APK. So I still want to do that. Make sure combo boxes cannot have the same value. Still going to need that. So 5. What was I thinking? Manual test build playwright. Sweet. We shall leave it as that for now. Let's do that. Let's go to our... Yeah, we've all got problems. That's it. Yep, let's call it there. So, hope you enjoyed this one. I'm probably going to set up another one for tomorrow for the 31st. And we'll start hacking away at some of this stuff and see how good AI is at. I tell you what, it might take a while. I'm going to set it running to build documentation on how this was built, and then I'm just going to let it run. And we can have that'll be the first thing for tomorrow. We'll have a look at what the documentation says. So I'll see you on the next one.